You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today, Jason Bay is back. Jason is the Chief Prospecting Officer at Blissful Prospecting, and he's also hosting the Think Outside the Script Summer Virtual Tour, which you'll hear more about in just a couple of minutes. Here's Jason.
Hey, this is Jason with Blissful Prospecting. I hope you're doing safe and great. How have you been during this COVID-19 thing? Terrible way to open up your cold calls. Now, I'm going to talk about intro lines and things that you can use here, but the reason why those lines are so bad is, one, you're talking about COVID-19 and coronavirus in your opening line. You're automatically getting the call off to a negative start, right? You're talking about something that people probably aren't super stoked about. But two, it's really insincere. When you say, I hope you're doing safe and great, I'm assuming this person you're cold calling, you don't know. So do you actually hope that they are doing safe and great when you don't even know who this person is? And lastly, it's what everyone's saying right now. So the big thing with a cold call is you want to create a pattern interruption. You want to say something different at the beginning of that call that will grab their attention, right? You want them to focus on what you're saying and really grab their attention in that first 10 seconds, right? So your job is to be different. So I want to share just real quick a couple lines. There's 5 of them that a combination of our clients are using and people on our podcast have shared. And I'm personally using all of these, and we're coaching our clients to use these lines as well. So the first one is from Sarah Brazier over at Gong, who I did an interview with, and she's also been interviewed on Scott's podcast. She's just a freaking, rock star. I don't know if I'm allowed to use profanity on this podcast, so I'm going to say rock star, but she's super awesome. And here's what she says. So after she does the, hey, this is Jason Bay with Blissful Prospecting. These are lines that are going to come right after you introduce yourself. And she says, hey, I know it's kind of weird to be making calls when there's a pandemic going on, and then she goes into an upfront contract, right? So she does talk about the pandemic, but she acknowledges that, hey, it might be kind of weird. And that's a variation of a line that you can use that's really effective. Like, hey, I know it might be kind of weird to be giving you a cold call right now. It's a really, really great one. You're acknowledging the elephant in the room. The second one is someone that Jonathan Mahan over at BombBomb, who I'm coaching. He prefers this line that's, very, very upfront about the fact that it's a cold call. And he uses a Sandler style upfront contract. And his sounds like this. Hey, so I'm cold calling you right now. It should take me about 30 seconds to tell you why I called and about 30 seconds for you to tell me if you want to keep talking. Sound fair? So it's got that upfront contract, which I'm a huge fan of. But he just says, hey, I'm cold calling you right now. And the response he gets to that is really, really good. So a couple of these other ones are ones that I don't even know. I think I've either heard of or just have figured out how to do myself. But my favorite one to use is, hey, this is Jason with Blissful Prospecting. I probably caught you at home in the middle of something, but the reason for my call, and then I go into the call. That's my favorite one. I know I probably caught you at home in the middle of something. So a great way to kind of acknowledge the situation that people are working from home without having to talk about Corona or COVID or any of that other BS. Number 4. This is a really cool one too. Hey, Jason with Blissful Prospecting. I'm sure the last thing you're expecting right now is to get a cold call. But the reason for my call is this. And then you can either go into an upfront contract or go into your pitch or whatever it might be. Okay, there's another one that works really well too. And this last one is more of a getting straight to business kind of approach. So you could say something like, hey, Jason with Blissful Prospecting. I know this call is probably unexpected, so I'll get right to it. I always use this line when I can hear the other person like impatience on the line from the other person, or I get a sense that they're just extremely busy and I can hear it in their tone of voice. But hey, I know this call is probably unexpected, so I'll get right to it. You're acknowledging the elephant in the room. You're letting them know that this was not a call from someone that they know. And you're also letting them know that you're going to get right to it. So those are 5 lines that you can try right now that are working really well for our clients in their cold calls. And before I take off, one quick update I wanted to give you, an announcement, is we're hosting a summer virtual tour called Think Outside the Script, and it's 100% focused on prospecting. So I actually rounded up, Scott Ingram is one of them. I rounded up 40 of the top sales speakers and sales reps to talk about how they cold email, cold call, use LinkedIn, how they do social selling, and it's all focused on prospecting and how you can prospect better, smarter, more efficiently to book more meetings. And it's free, it's live. The events are not condensed down into 2 or 3 days. Nothing's pre-recorded. It's spread out over the entire summer, and there's 2 or 3 of them per week, and you can pick the ones that you want to go to. And you can check that out at tour. So that's TOUR.blissfulprospecting.com. 40 talks. Like I said, they're live, they're free. Go check it out. There's likely going to be a handful of people in there that you recognize and that you're big fans of. Scott's one of those. So tour.blissfulprospecting.com. And thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.
Of course, we'll also have a link to the virtual tour for you at DailySales.Tips/515. And my presentation is scheduled for June 25th at noon. So I hope you'll join Jason and I for that. And once you've gotten yourself signed up, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.